Hey y'all, welcome back to Seriously Stump'd. Stick around today because it's an exciting day here on the channel. Almost 6 months ago to the day, I ordered this Durette V1000 and all of those attachments over there, and I'm gonna unbox this and go through everything from ordering on Alibaba to communications via WhatsApp to what I paid back during the Trump tariff wars. But hey, if that doesn't interest you, you can stay stumped, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Woo! Well, it's V1000 delivery day. Full transparency, I was gonna record the whole unloading process from this delivery, but it was kind of sketch. Luckily, we had the forklift and the big M5660 tractor. That way we could hook up on this end of the box, out of that box truck, drive back, and then attack from the side with the forklift. So if you're gonna order one of these directly from China, ensure that you have the proper unloading equipment ready and available, but that's just part of it when you do direct. Luckily, I got my guys out here and everything's going off safely, but man, I was worried about it for a while. But as you see, delivery drivers closing up shop, tractor spinning around with the last bit of the attachments in the box, and we're good to go. Well, now I gotta have the other fun part where I load this up onto my own trailer and then get it back to the house and then use the V1000 to unload everything, because I don't have this heavy duty equipment at my house. But that's it for now. So here's another nugget that I just got from the delivery driver. He said they had a couple options. They had a flatbed that would come with a Moffett, that we could have unloaded this without having to have a forklift here. So if you're gonna order one of these directly from China, please be mindful you ask the DDP delivery company once they make the call what options they have, because if they have those type of options and you don't have to have two pieces of equipment, it'll be way easier. But at minimum, even if they don't have the Moffett and they just have a flatbed, elect to have that, because getting it out of the box is a huge pain. But like I said, we got it all here. It's safe. Looks like it made it from China in a few good intact crates. And now be the fun task of loading this up onto my trailer, like I said. All right, so as promised, I'm gonna try to go over at a high level all of the ins and outs as to how I landed on this Durette V1000, why I ordered it, and what I paid over the course of this video. Right now, what you see me doing is just simply unboxing this from the crate. And this is how it comes once you receive it from your DDP shipping company that will reach out to you after everything is passed through customs. Like many of you, if you're watching this video, you've probably stumbled across these Durette V1000s from Greg with Our Life in Trees. And if you're in that position, that's exactly where I was in January. And I started doing a bunch of research at that time. And then I just went ahead and reached out to Dean at Durette via the Alibaba messaging service. And by doing that, I ended up getting in direct contact with him on Alibaba, and we started up what has been now 6 months of constant communication. I will say first and foremost that there was a time there during the tariff war in which Dean's communication kind of fell off to, instead of responding every couple hours, he would respond, you know, few and far between as they were trying to work out all those deals. But having said that, I do want to reiterate that they honored the price that we agreed upon all the way back in February throughout that entire Trump tariff war. Never did they come to me and ask if I was going to pay more. Never did they request that I send them more money. It was all based on the agreed upon contract that we signed on Alibaba way back in February. So I will give them that. Now, I did pay for DDP shipping, which protects you as the customer from those things. The seller ends up eating all of those costs, and I don't know if Durette ended up eating any costs due to the extra tariffs, or if, since it was delayed, they ended up not having to eat as many costs. But all in all, my communication with Dean at Durette has been fantastic, and I'm going to start throwing up some pictures, not videos, but pictures of the overall process. And they have different color schemes that you can choose from. True customization aspect of this if you're going to order direct from them. The other options are you can obviously pay more and you can get it from a direct supplier here in the States. But in that regard, you're not going to have the true customization aspect of it. And my personal opinion is that Dean with Durette, or any of the Durette representatives such as Max or any of those people, I don't think they're going to be able to sustain this direct to consumer long term. I think eventually this will only be able to be purchased from a supplier here in the United States, just because of the ins and outs of all the communication that it requires to get things customized. But I was able to customize everything from my color selections all the way down to my stickers, sticker placements, logo orchestration, whether I wanted their logos on it, the paint design on various components. Obviously the specific attachments that I wanted, I could have got them in different colors as well, but that would have delayed the whole process and I didn't really want that. And at this point in the video, you see me about to unveil for the first time the Durette V1000 that I ordered, and I hope you like it as much as I do. Let's go! Look at this monster. That's freaking sick. Whew. All right, I got buried a blade. Let's cut these straps out of the way because we don't need those no more. We've already made it across the ocean blue. And let's see if we can put some gas in it and back it up off this trailer. Get our little battery disconnect switch. Walk up here to the hood. I'll show you guys this later, but it's got this little slot here. You slide it right in, twist to on. Now we're ready to fire it up. I haven't put fuel in this thing. I haven't done anything. That is sick. I might want to get my ramps in place first while this thing warms up. Woo! All right, so I got my truck over here and it's going up a hill a little bit to where I'm slanted this way. And that's kind of intentional based on when I'm backing off and how I wanted the front to be lower than the back, because I wanted this to be a little less severe when I back it off here. But then I plan to spin around on the trailer and drive straight off the ramps. That way I don't feel like I'm gonna flip on the way off. All right, so while I figure out how to get this thing off the trailer, let's bounce right back into story time and lay out some expectations. So first and foremost, if you're gonna order one of these directly from Durette, you'll need an Alibaba account and you'll need to reach out to one of their fantastic sales reps. At that point, you'll be given the up-to-date current pricing, and I can't speak to that because I ordered mine 6 months ago. But when I ordered mine, the Durette V1000 without counterweights and a standard bucket was going for $9,300 US. That comes with the D902 Kubota or the Perkins engine. The Perkins engine is slightly slower when configured on the V1000, but it has a lower operating RPM and it's slightly stronger. So you get to make that decision on your own as to whether or not you want the Kubota D902 or the Perkins engine. I went with the Kubota because I wanted higher travel speed, because the last thing I wanted was to be cruising around all slow on my V1000. But they will give you all the up-to-date pricings on attachments and the V1000 itself. You can't forget the awesome toolbox Durette sends you. We'll unbox this later. Right back to expectations. So once you list all of your attachments that you want and the sales rep gives you an up-to-date price with DDP shipping, you will then be asked to finalize the order on Alibaba. And to do that, you're gonna need to place a 30% deposit. And what I would recommend doing is using a credit card at this point and finding one that will waive the international fee, because I did not do this and I had to pay an extra 3% of that 30% deposit, which can add up to, about $250 when the deposit is $8,000 US. But I also recommend that you lump all the attachments that you may want into that initial purchase. I see a lot of people buying a V1000, waiting to get it, and then ordering attachments later. That's the last thing you want to do. You want them to be able to jam pack all of your attachments into the initial crates and go ahead and send it out. The only perk of splitting it into multiple orders is that you may get the V1000 if you don't have a lot of customization to it. You may get it sooner if you don't have to wait on the attachments, because right now I think the attachments are what's backed up and not the actual production of the V1000 itself. Woohoo! In true spirit of method to my madness, I'm trying to drive this off and forward instead of reverse, just so I don't almost flip it like Greg with our life in trees. But once you place your order with Durette, you'll start receiving some updates if you request them. And here's one of the updates that I requested from Dean. It was once my machine made it off the Durette V1000 assembly line, they sent me this video of them doing operability checks and just some due diligence verification of the machine prior to applying all of my customization. Shortly after this verification of operability, they then did all of my customization stickers, ensured that I had buy off on them on their exact placement, and then they crated all of my attachments and my V1000 itself there in their warehouse. From there, they load up all of those crates into shipping containers and ship that over to a port in China as it awaits a container ship. Once it gets assigned a container ship, you'll receive a tracking number where you can watch your container travel across the ocean blue of the Pacific to the nearest port that will be designated for you based on your address that you provide during the ordering process. At that point, it'll have to clear customs, and I received a few delays at this point as my whole container sat in Savannah, Georgia from like July 6th all the way until like August 2nd, and I was freaking out and asking for updates all the time and trying to validate if this was normal, and Dean kept reassuring me that this was normal and that I just needed to exercise some patience as it worked its way through the normal process of DDP shipping. Shortly after that, I received a call from a shipping company, and that's what I detailed early in the video. Yeah, that would have been really sketchy if I was backing off. That's why I wanted to flip it just like I did. Woohoo! Sweet success. Check it out in all its glory. All right, so I've got about 0.9 hours on this thing so far, and I don't really want to go into all of the ins and outs of first startup and everything you get in that tool crate in this video. I mainly wanted to cover all the things you can expect during your ordering process from Direct. And essentially what I really want to drive home is that you can trust anybody you're talking to at Direct, because they really stand behind their products and they're trying to make awesome equipment that's affordable for us here in the States. And once you receive your machine, it's just some tips and tricks that I've learned. Please talk to the DDP shipping company that contacts you to see if they have a flatbed trailer instead of a box truck, because that's going to make it way easier for you to get a forklift in there and actually be able to unload your machine safely. And then once you start uncrating everything, you will need some kind of disposal to be able to get rid of all of the debris from all those crates. I was able to light a huge bonfire and burn all of mine up, but the other things are, I could go into, and drop a comment below if you want me to go into the ins and outs and break down everything that I spent on this, but my total cost for this Direct V1000 with the Kubota engine, this awesome 4-in-1 bucket right here, the set of pallet forks over here, I'm gonna see if my camera will drive over there, but this set of pallet forks over here, the trailer mover attachment, the brush cutter, the grapple, the mulcher, and the stump grinder that oscillates back and forth with credit card fees, taxes, and the DDP shipping all grouped in was just over $22,000 when I bought it. If I would have went somewhere in the States for a Vermeer or a Bobcat or a standard Kubota with this exact same engine, I would have spent over $45,000 for just the machine itself. So yes, is there some headache? Yes. Is there some back and forth language barrier stuff that you have to deal with? Yes. Is there some uneasiness when you wire over $14,000 to a Chinese bank? Yes. But at the end of the day, people like me on YouTube can provide that reassurance for you, because I get nothing from Direct by telling you all of this. This is just me providing reassurance that this company stands behind their products and they're trying to do what's best for you, the consumer, and provide you with something that's super awesome. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please drop a comment below with any questions that you may have on the overall ordering process from Direct. And if you have any questions, just let me know, because like I said, I've been dealing with them for 6 months and I may have the answers and I'll be able to give it to you without a language barrier. But I really hope you guys are looking forward to some awesome content. I'm going to do a video of me testing each one of these implements. The 4-in-1 bucket, the pallet forks. I'm going to hook some of those VEVOR safety cage to those pallet forks. I'm going to use the trailer mover to move around all of my equipment. I'm going to mulch up all kinds of stuff with that mulcher. I'm going to use the brush cutter to really clear this acreage. I'm going to take the stump grinder on some jobs and compare it directly with my Kubota BX23S. You know, that one that's turbocharged with the rear MechMaxx PTO stump grinder on it. I'm going to do some head-to-head comparisons on those, because these have the exact same engine. That one is turbocharged, this one is not, but this one has the D902 just like that, the 25 horse Kubota. But there's tons of stuff to come on this channel. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Hopefully you're no longer stumped. Please remember to stay safe and stay hydrated, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Woo!